Here we're going to have a look at algebraic fractions. That is one number divided by another number, or written as one number over another number. A normal fraction would be just an ordinary number here, an ordinary number here. With an algebraic fraction, you have some algebra involved in one or both cases. Now, what we can do often when we have an algebraic fraction is we can look to simplify that. So in this case, for example, we have a quadratic on the top and we also have a quadratic on the bottom. So one possible way of simplifying this is to factorise these quadratics. This quadratic at the top here is the difference of two squares, so we can factorise that by writing it as x add the square root of 16, 4, and x subtract the square root of 16, which is 4. On the bottom here, with a little bit of manipulation, you should be able to work out that that can be factorised as x plus 4 and x plus 5. This is really important now because what we need to do is we need to spot to see if there's anything that can cancel out. So at the top here we've got x plus 4, and also we have that same factor at the bottom. So these two can effectively cancel out, just as if that was a 5 at the top and a 5 at the bottom, they would cancel out if they were ordinary numbers. And that just leaves us with what we have here, which is x subtract 4, that just comes straight from there. And on the bottom we have x plus 5, which is a simpler version of that. Here we have another example. We have two quadratics. Again, we can factorise these. With a bit of work, we can work out that that top factor quadratic can be factorised as x plus 3, x plus 4, and the bottom one can be factorised as x plus 3 and x plus 7. Again, we're looking for anything that can cancel. We can see that these again are the same. Those can cancel out, which leaves us with at the top x plus 4 and the bottom x plus 7, which is a much simpler form, but the same fraction as this which we started with. Other times you might be given two algebraic fractions and you might be asked to simplify these. The normal approach here is to try to create one fraction out of these two, in the same way as if we had ordinary fractions and we had two denominators which were different, which clearly these two are. We aim, when we're adding algebraic fractions, to make these denominators the same. So one tactic for doing this is to multiply the first fraction by the second fraction's denominator, and the second fraction to be multiplied by the first fraction's denominator. So what we're going to do here is going to multiply this one, and I'll just write it up here in brackets so we can see that. We're going to multiply this one by x plus 3, and we're going to multiply this one by x plus 2. That gives us two new fractions. And at the bottom here, we're going to have x plus 2, x plus 3. I'm going to have the same on this one here. At the top here, we're going to have one lot of x plus 3. So we can just write that as x plus 3. And at the top on this side, we're going to have two lots of x plus 2. Just moving this on to a new line. If we look at this, we've got now the same denominator on these two fractions, so we can combine this into one. So we write this as a new fraction, just the same denominator at the bottom. And we combine these two sets of numbers, so x plus 3 plus two lots of x. I'll multiply these brackets out while we're at it, 2x, and also add 4. So all I've done there is copied that from there and copied that from there, but in the course of doing that I've multiplied those brackets out. All we need to do now is simplify this top line. We've got 3x and we've got 7. So the simplest version of this algebraic fraction, or algebraic fractions, when fully written out, is this here. Now in some cases you might find that when we get to this stage you can cancel in very much a similar way as when we did there. In this case we can't. So this is our solution.